Looking at this opening hand, there's just too many lands. This hand's much more palatable. Probably put back Steam Vents. This hand notably has no copies of Preordained or anything like that, so it's very much relying on hitting its first couple land drops. Opponent. Do next turn. Come on. Stop the spinny circle of doom. Come on, you can do it. I know it's hard. Chugga, 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 choo choo. Field of Rooney. Yeah, nope. Not letting the value train get off the tracks. So it can't be Omnath. Boop. This is such a dumb card. I don't have either part of the combo currently. 1, 2, 3. Bloop. Such a dumb card. Come on. Deal 5, draw 2. Okay. Snapcaster. Counterspell. GG. nice of our opponent to concede. Alright. So Blood Moon seems like it's going to be a decent card. Ghost Vacuum, not so much. Hercules Recall, not so much. Pyroclasm, not so much. Mystical Dispute, maybe. Force of Negation. They have some, but not a ton of things. Spell Snare is debatable from what we saw out of them. Bolt isn't great, but at least it's okay. Pierce might have some utility. Guess we should probably look at some of the Google MTG. Modern. 4 and 5 color Neth. Yeah, I got some, quite a few Mystical Disputes chilling out over there. Citra, we definitely want bolts. Down like 1 Exarch. Maybe on the draw we go down like 1 Blood Moon. I guess it's 60 cards. I don't know that we're going to outvalue them that way unless we draw like Tameo every game. So this is like my concern with the Omnath decks is if Omnath and no lander can't keep. Did I leave? Yeah, okay. Mulligan. Keep. You have to light a halfling turn 1. Nope, just tap land. Just pass. My opponent really hoping that I played Deceiver Exarch there. Let this resolve. Not thrilled about it. got to make a decision here without us. They have Solitude, they have Solitude. I'm not playing around it, so. Alright. Nice. Nice. Alright, so as the All Access Pass is kind of winding down, I think it technically wraps up January 2nd. This is really the final deck I wanted to cover. Now, there's a ton of decks out there in the format right now. Whether it's Splinter Twin, Omnath that we just played against, Brood Scale Combo, Rhinos is making somewhat of a comeback, etc. A lot of awesome decks in the format that aren't named Energy. I wanted to play a lot of the one-ofs just to have a little bit under our belt to be able to kind of cover kind of like a quick hits thing for all the MH3 stuff. If there has been other, all access passes, I really haven't had the opportunity or chance to play enough to justify them this time around. I wanted to cover most of the main decks. So I think we've covered the vast majority of the decks either now or at different times. This deck combines, obviously, the Blue-Red Wizards deck with Splinter Twin. Basically, I think Exarch is a wizard. No, it's a cleric. But wizard, 4 Flame of Anor. You get to play Bolts and Snapcaster Mage Counterspell, while also having Flare of Denial as a potential way to protect your combo. 4 copies of Deceiver Exarch, 3 copies of Splinter Twin. All seems pretty reasonable to me. Tameo obviously draws you a bunch of cards, can just take over the game on its own. Snapcaster and Thundertrap Trainer are just a bunch of value. Flame of Anor with a wizard, also a bunch of value. Flare of Denial, while its card disadvantage, can be either a cancel or, use your Snapcaster Mage or your Thundertrap Trainer or even your Tameo to protect your Deceiver Exarch Splinter Twin. So, this deck has a lot going for it. 22 lands if you include the 2 MDFCs. Then obviously in your sideboard, you have a mixture of things. Hergil's Recall for artifacts, Mystical Disputes for the blue decks, Force of Negations for combo decks, 2 copies of Pyroclasm, largely here for the Affinity and Energy matchups, 3 copies of Blood Moon against Eldrazi and such, Ghost Vacuum for any type of graveyard nonsense. This deck could be a blast to play. I think... So, obviously this is kind of like a wrap for the whole shebang, but look at the meta, the way it kind of plays out right at the moment. Now this is a couple weeks after, week and a half after the banning. Unfortunately, do you see what I see? Energy creeping back up to 15%. I don't know how long it will be for this meta. Obviously, you have Dimir Murktide and Grixis Murktide, which we've already kind of covered. Amulet Titan, which we're just not going to cover because a deck that I thought about picking up, but as soon as the new combo with whatchamacallit has become a big part of the deck, I'm just like, nah, not worth. The new part of the combo, obviously, being Aftermath Analyst and the loops with that. I'm just not interested in learning those particular loops for the deck. Mono Green Basking, we've covered that in another video. Creativity we covered in another video. Eldrazi Ramp we covered. Mardu mid-range is just Mardu Energy. Rakdos Delirium we've covered. Grinding Station Combo we've covered. Ruby Storm we've taken a couple cracks at. I don't think it picked up anything new with the new stuff. Teamer Breach is Grinding Station Combo. These two kind of go together. Belcher we finally covered. Rhinos we've covered on the channel before. Really not a whole lot of new tech. I mean, you've got basically they running a more Oculus over Murktide Regent, say, and then the rest of the deck is just the old Crashing Footfalls deck. Using Scion as your backup plan in addition to the Rhinos. Brotherhood's End is a nice dual card against both the artifact decks and against energy. The rest of the deck, just solid stuff you'd expect out of a zoo style, not a zoo style, but zoo coloration deck. Yawgmoth, we've kind of covered a little bit on this channel. Hasn't really changed a whole lot with MH3. Merfolk, there's plenty of other channels that cover that. Through the Breach is just a bigger version of the Eldrazi deck that we covered earlier. It's using Through the Breach rather than some of the other stuff. And then Run, as we've covered. Affinity, we've kind of covered. Warzod Midrange is a new one. It's just basically a value Death and Taxes style deck based around Velia and Recruiter of the Guard nonsense, along with things like Overlord, Solitude, etc. Just rebuying a bunch of stuff and trying to outvalue your opponent. Not really my cup of tea. Splinter Twin we just covered. Samwise combo, which is turn we're known to get battlefield, create a food token, Cauldron Familiar, just kind of looping that. And otherwise, you're just kind of this value deck, for lack of a better term. Viscera Seer, sacking, Cat, bring it back, much like the Jund Sack combo in Pioneer, Neo Brand. Bit of a convoluted deck that we've kind of covered at different points on the channel. I'm not really interested. Lantern Control, this is a prison deck based around Lantern of Insight and milling effects. 4/5 color Omnath, we just took a look at that. Hammer Time we've covered at different points. Hardened Scale we've covered at different points. Boros Midrange is just Boros Midrange. Is it Murktide? Well, that's a deck we used to cover a long time ago. Its main upgrade of it is you get Tameo rather than Ragavan, and obviously you get Flame of Anor. And then the rest of the format, you're just kind of getting into things that just aren't relevant, like Boros Burn, Domain Zoo, Necrodominance decks, etc. I wish there was better news. Really, somebody jammed Kiki Cord. Dingo did. Okay, sure. It's basically jamming Prime Speaker Xanafair, Court of Calling, Kiki, Karmic Guide, Restoration Angel. It's basically a value deck. I'm surprised he did that, but was that since the banning? Yeah, GSC, Court of Calling. 4 copies of Agatha Soul Cauldron. That is certainly a hilarious deck to do well with. But you got some Agatha Soul Cauldrons, GSCs. That would be a card deck that I wouldn't mind re-exploring at some point if it ever became somewhat relevant. And then, the rest of the format, you got things like Mono Red Phoenix, Ad Nauseam combo, Heliod combo. People trying to bring back their pet decks with the format a little bit shaken up. But the reality is, I unfortunately think we're headed for a energy versus combo meta again. And I know I've signed up for the energy decks, or for the energy deck for now. And we will certainly master it the best we can, but I could easily see, in 3 months, 2.5 months, whenever the next BNR, that deck goes goodbye. So, might be yet another channel or another deck we help on the channel get banned, and from there we'll have to figure out what we want to play. But as always, if you do like modern content, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you for our next video.